zoning board meeting of adjustment for the town of Goffstown. A couple of matters of business before we get started into the actual agenda. The first thing is the right to know meeting checklist. As chair of the Goffstown Zoning Board of Adjustment due to the COVID-19 outbreak and in accordance with Governor Sununu's emergency order number 12 pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this board is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there's no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, this is to confirm that we are providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. The zoning board is utilizing Microsoft Teams for this electronic meeting with also access by a telephone conference line. The public has access to contemporaneously listen and if necessary, participate in this meeting through dialing 603-766-5646 and using the participation code 785-645 followed by the pound sign. We are providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. The town previously gave notice to the public of how to access this meeting using the available phone number with the posted agenda. We are providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anybody has a problem with telephone access, please call 603-660-5000. And adjourning the meeting if the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting, we will adjourn the meeting and have it rescheduled to another time. Please note that all votes that are taken tonight during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. And we will start by taking a roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, also please state whether there's anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required by the right to know law. So my name is Gail LeBrecq, and I am the chairman and also the recording secretary. Len?
Leonard Stewart, vice chairman. I'm alone in the room.
Thank you. Denise?
Denise Langley, member, no other humans with me.
And Jason?
Jason Cody, alternate member, and I don't have any other humans in the room either.
Thank you. And is Alan back?
Alan is not back. I have two wireless callers that called in. I unfortunately don't have Alan's phone number with me, but I can see if someone can identify themselves. There's one caller with the last four digits of 3778. And there's another caller.
Jeremy Sebastian.
Who is that?
Jeremy Sebastian.
Okay, Jeremy. Okay, I'm just gonna, are you here for, as an abutter or an interested party in the application?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you until it's time for that part of the meeting.
Okay.
Okay. And the second number, we have the last four digits of 0610.
Yes, that's Jamie Naylor, and I'm also here as an abutter.
Okay. Hi, Jamie. It's Nancy. We're going to put you, going to mute you until that portion of the meeting is ready to take comments from the public.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Okay.
And then we have another individual on the line with his name identified. So I'm assuming that that's also someone from the neighborhood.
Okay, that's fine.
So no Alan. He's
okay.
disappeared.
Alan and Sandra are not with us, but we still have a quorum plus one. And Jason, you will be appointed a voting member unless they both sign in to the meeting. And so we will go back to the basic introductions. Anyone from the public who is wishing to speak would need to dial *9 for the operator to recognize you to be able to speak when we have our public comment session. Okay, and then our ZBA meeting instructions. We're an elected board of 5 members and up to 5 appointed alternates. We currently have 5 members and we have 1 alternate. So if anyone's interested in serving on the ZBA, please see Nancy Larson for more information. You can reach her at Town Hall. The board has a posted agenda for each meeting and tends to follow the items in order. The board will open the public hearing on an application to receive testimony from the applicants, from abutters and affected parties, and to ask questions about the appeal. The public hearing will then be closed and the board will enter a deliberative session to discuss its merits. For each application, the board will decide to approve with conditions, deny, or continue to a later meeting. You're welcome to watch the deliberations this evening on GTV channel 22, or you can contact Nancy Larson at Town Hall to get the results. For an applicant's request to be approved, there must be an affirmative vote of at least 3 members. An applicant can request a continuance if there's not a full 5-member board to act on an application. If you're aggrieved by a decision made by the ZBA tonight, you have the right to appeal to the Superior Court. However, before appealing to Superior Court, you must request a rehearing with the zoning board to preserve your right to appeal. Rehearing requests must be filed within 30 days of the decision and state all the reasons why the decision was unlawful or unreasonable. And failure to request a rehearing may forfeit your ability to appeal to Superior Court. So we're going to get started into the meeting. And one of the first things that we do is to stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would join me, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everyone. The first thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes to the meeting of February 9th. Do we have a motion or any comments, corrections?
I motion to approve the minutes.
Okay. And
I'll
do we have a
second.
Len? Okay. So we have the motion to approve, the second by Len. Any corrections or comments on them? Hearing none, then we will do a roll call vote. I vote yes. Gail LeBrecq votes yes. Len?
Yes,
Denise?
Yes.
And Jason?
Yes.
Okay, so they pass 4-0-0. Our first item on the agenda tonight is Tanya Goslin, owner applicant, seeking a variance to allow the construction of a deck and a sunroom with dormers onto the rear of the home, approximately 15 feet from the side property line where 25 of dimensional regulations of the Goffstown zoning ordinance. The property is located at 16 Incline Ave, a Class 6 road, map 42, lot 7, zoned agricultural. This was continued from the February meeting last month. It was continued to tonight, and the applicant has requested a postponement or a continuation until April 6th, pending to allow time for the boundary survey that the board requested. So does the board want to discuss it, or do we have a motion?
I'll move to grant the applicant the continuance as requested.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second that.
Jason? Thank you. And we will do a roll call vote. I'm Gail, and I say yes. Len?
Yes,
Denise?
Yes.
And Jason?
Yes.
Motion carries. That application is rescheduled to April 6th, 2021, and that meeting will also be a remote
Remote?
meeting. It'll be a remote meeting, yes,
At 7
Okay.
PM.
at 7 p.m. That's correct. Thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome.
Okay, our next application is Moose Club Park Rentals, owner applicant seeking 2 variances. The first variance requested is to permit a lot line adjustment between two lots to make the non-conforming lot, which is vacant map 19 lot 34 less non-conforming. And the non-conforming lot would increase in area from 4,100 square feet to 6,121 square feet. I lost my spot.
Hmm.
Oh, there we go. I know where I am. Whereas 10,000 square feet is required per section 4.3 table of dimensional regulations of the Goffstown zoning ordinance for a lot served by public sewer and public water. The second variance requested is to allow for the construction of a single family home on the vacant lot 20 feet from the front side yard setback along Moose Club Park Road, whereas 25-foot setback is required per section 4.3 table of dimensional regulations of the Goffstown zoning ordinance. The properties are located at Moose Club Park Road, 132 Moose Club Park Road, map 19, lot 34 and 33 respectively, and Shore Drive. Portions of both of the lots are located within the 100-year flood hazard district zone, residential 2. And before we get into hearing anything from the applicant, how about a discussion or a motion regarding regional impact?
I motion there's no regional impact.
And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. And we'll do a roll call vote. Gail says yes.
Lynn, yes.
Denise,
Denise?
yes.
Jason, yes.
Okay, so that carries 4-0. And we will get into the application. Who do we have with us for the applicants and or their representative?
All right, good evening. My name is Matt Peterson with Keach Norsham Associates. I've got with me in the room Matt Osborne and Ken Bernard, the two applicants for this.
Uh-huh.
Oh, have we lost him?
I think we did because I'm not hearing him.
He's, seems to be frozen.
Uh-oh.
Huh. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get Brian.
Okay. And I thought this would happen just to me tonight, but not yet. Knock on wood.
Gail, you did freeze a couple of times, but not for long.
Oh, good. Good. I think a new router may be in our order.
Yeah, it's an easy swap and it's worthwhile, Gail.
So yeah, Brian said, it looks like, Matt timed out at his end, so we just have to give him a couple minutes to,
Get
get
back in.
himself running again, so.
All right, we can do that.
I see movement on the screen, so
Yep.
can he be unmuted, Nancy?
I don't believe I can unmute him. He's not muted. At what I see is, Matt is, frozen in action.
Oh, it
Oh.
says he's leaving.
Yeah,
Mine said
just
he was
timed
leaving.
out.
He's probably leaving in to, reconnect.
His connection timed out and the system dropped him.
Waiting in lobby. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's back, I think.
He
Are
just
you
doesn't
back with-
space yet.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
we can see
It
it
said
too.
it said I got disconnected. I don't know. I don't think I hit anything, but something happened.
I didn't do it.
I'll take the blame. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to try and show what we've got for, oh, of course I shut down my, there we go. All right, can you guys see the screen now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
I was like, last time I hit that, I lost you. So I'm like, oh no. Okay. All right. Let's start this over again. All right. Matt Peterson here with Keach Norsham Associates here representing the variance tonight. I don't know if you heard, but I've got Matt Osborne and Ken, the applicants, with me in my room here. So any questions and stuff like that, I can relate to you. The property in question is located down at this corner here of Moose Club Park Road. We have different photos that kind of go through. This is the existing camp that's on site. Once I get to the other exhibits, we had some sheds that were on the property. Today, those have been removed at this point. This is the parcel where we're talking about the extra house to put in here. Again, these two buildings that you see in the woods, I've been told that they've been taken down, quite an eyesore prior to. Obviously across the street, I think this is the little landing and the porta pot and the area that the people hang out for the beach and stuff like that. Kind of right here. Again, on our unit, we're taking these two units, and this is kind of, you'll see, I keep bringing back to this because when we get to the plan, you'll see where these two are in relation to our new lot. This is looking from down the street, heading back towards the property. This is the cabin that we've kept on the property. This is looking across the property to the abutters on the far side. I believe it's either this gentleman or the gentleman over here is on the line, and I think one other person on this location here. And obviously, this is just looking the other direction. What we're here tonight is there's two existing lots out here today. Lot 19-33 is about 12,000 square feet or 0.276 acres. And then we have a second parcel here that is about 4,100 square feet. Now, this parcel is different than what you guys have set up. If you take a look at your tax map, you guys' tax map shows the property actually going out into the roadway itself. Mike Dahlberg of our office, or previous of our office, put this plan together last year, and the edge of the pavement is right here outside of this property here. So this lot is smaller than what you have on your tax map, but it is 4,100 square feet. Obviously, the lake is just, the river, I'm sorry, is just to the north of our property here. What the applicant is asking the zoning board for tonight is relief from the total area. We are making a non-conforming lot more conforming by increasing its size to 6,121. I am unable to make them both conforming 10,000 because I just don't have the area to do so. However, again, I'm making a non-conforming lot more conforming with this application tonight. The second thing we'd like to do is my building envelope is right here, up along this line, comes down along my side and comes through the building right there. The requirement in this district is for the 25-foot setback. We are asking for a reduction of that to 20 feet to be able to construct a new home on this lot. It would be a lot line adjustment plan that we'd have to take to the planning board after this step. But I think based on where this property sits and what we're trying to do, it makes a lot of sense. I'm going to go through basically the first variance, and I'm going to do them both. I assume, Gail, that's okay at this point. I'm going to read both things in. And okay. The first variance, as we talked, is create an under 10,000 square foot lot, however, making it more conforming by raising it to 6,121 square feet. What I'll bring to the board's attention is that Exhibit 3 here, actually 4. This exhibit here outlines in the area in red which lots are under 10,000 square feet currently. Okay. I think it's pretty obvious that it's almost, more of them are under the 10,000 square feet than are at the 10,000 square feet. And obviously this was built many years ago with different regulations and different zonings for this area. The second variance that we talked about is the frontage variance, the front setback variance. Again, going from 25 requirement to 20. The other exhibit that we put together here is this one, again in red, shows which units are closer than 25 feet to the front, and then which ones aren't are in black. So again, you can see the majority of them around our property here don't meet the 25-foot setback, and in fact are substantially shorter than that in this location. Just to get into the record, the variance requirements, again, starting with variance number 1 and the lot size requirement, granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest. This parcel, as we all know, is located in the high-density residential zone where the minimum lot size for a new lot is 10,000 square feet. The existing lot is 4,100 square feet. The applicant is proposing a lot line adjustment to make the existing lot more conforming. 2,021 square feet removed from map 1933 by performing the lot line adjustment. This will leave map 1933 with 10,000 square feet and map 19-34 with 6,121 square feet. There are numerous examples of existing lots in the R2 zone that are below the minimum requirement of 10,000 square feet that have existing dwellings on them, and as such, the applicant does not believe this variance would be contrary to the public interest. The spirit of the ordinance is absorbed because, as there's a need for all types of housing in Goffstown and in New Hampshire in general these days, allowing a lot line adjustment to create more conforming lot to develop a single-family residence on an existing lot of record is within the rules as set forth by the town of Goffstown. As such, the applicant believes that the spirit of the ordinance would be observed by granting this variance, allowing a new residential home on an existing lot of record. Granting the variance would do substantial justice. The applicant believes substantial justice will be done for this parcel, and that by granting this variance, it will allow the owner to build a more appropriate sized house on an existing vacant lot in an area of town that allows this type of use. The values of the surrounding properties would not be diminished. The proposed construction of a new single-family residence typically would not diminish the values of surrounding properties in the R2 district. We have submitted for the board a letter that is in their package that's from this realtor, Courtney. And that's her expertise on that, not mine. And they have stated that typically, obviously, a new home in this area here should help increase some of the values. And I think, obviously, taking down those sheds and cleaning up this corner, very visible lot, I would have to say, would definitely be an improvement in the neighborhood, in my opinion. Little enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance will result in unnecessary hardship. No fair and substantial relation exists between the general public purpose of ordinance provisions and the specific application of that provision to the property. As the lot stands today, it would require numerous variances to build a single-family structure. By allowing a lot line adjustment, making a more conforming lot, we only require one extra variance. The requirement of 10,000 square feet for a minimum lot size is unable to be met with this proposal, as the existing lot of record is already undersized and the ability to gain the required area is not possible. There are numerous other examples of sub 10,000 square foot lots in the R2 district of Goffstown that contain single-family residence that can be found. We do not feel the requirement of 10,000 square feet per lot is warranted when numerous lots are under and are between 5,000 and 10,000 square foot and contain single-family residence. As such, no fair and substantial relation exists between the general purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific applicant to this project, application of this project, sorry. The proposed use would be a reasonable one. The applicant believes that a single-family residence on a lot of record in this area of town is a reasonable one. That's for the 10,000 square foot requirements. As far as the setback requirement, very similar type arguments with slight changes to them. But number one, granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest. This parcel is located in the high-density residential zone again, and most of the existing dwellings in the R2 zone are not compliant with setbacks per table 4.3, as shown on the exhibits 3 and 4 that I presented to the boards earlier. As such, the applicant does not believe that this variance would be contrary to the public interest. Also, there is a need for all types of housing in Goffstown. Allowing the development of a single-family residence on an existing lot of record with a reduced side setback would not be contrary to the public interest. Again, when you take a look at the exhibits that we have here, we can see that the majority of these here are on the property lines, are pretty close. So I think we're, one of the things these guys came to talk to me a couple months ago, they had a whole bunch of crazy ideas on stuff to do here. And I think we tried to, get something that developed the area, but also made it fit in the area. And I hope at the end of the day, the board sees that we've tried to do something that makes sense to what's down there. So the second thing, the spirit of the ordinance is observed because the applicant believes the spirit of the ordinance is observed in this area to ensure consistent, we believe the ordinance in this area is to ensure consistent development throughout the town, and the applicant feels a new single residence on an undeveloped lot with a reduced side setback would be in character with the surrounding resident uses, and as such would be in the spirit of the ordinance. The granting of the variance would do substantial justice because the applicant believes that substantial justice will be done for this parcel, and that by granting this variance, it would allow the owner to create an appropriate size new home on an existing vacant lot in the area of town that allows this type of use. Again, the surrounding values and the property values, that is again based on the letter that I submitted. Proposed construction of a new single-family residence with a reduced side setback would not diminish surrounding property values in the area. See the enclosed letter. And then lastly, literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship. No fair and substantial relations would exist. Again, as the lot stands today, there'd be numerous variants required to construct a structure on it. These variants would include setbacks to all property lines, construction within the AE flood zone, and minimum lot sizing. By allowing variance to the side setback, approximately front setback to the 25, the proposed location of the new structure will be outside the flood area and only necessitate a single variance to the minimum setback requirements for the front. There are numerous other examples, as I've outlined throughout this presentation, in the R2 zone where structures do not meet this minimum requirement. As such, no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general purpose of the ordinance and the provision of this. And then lastly, the applicant believes that a single-family residence on this lot in town is a reasonable request. And then the last thing I would add to my presentation here is I understand, I've been doing this for 25 years, and I get that this has been sitting here as basically, right now, an open view for some people's homeowners to the lake. Let me just get to, you see it. As you kind of come across here, I get it. It's a nice view through this for some of the people that are on the opposite side of Moose Club Lake, but my clients are the ones that bought it. They are the ones that came to us and spent the money to find out the survey. Again, I think we're doing something that meets what would fit in this area and be, into the area. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll take any questions or comments the board has. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions of the applicant?
I don't, Gail.
No, not for me at this time, Gail.
Denise?
Not yet.
Okay.
Well, I guess I could ask a question.
Okay.
The building, as far as any decks or stairs coming off the building, are they going to be, how close are we to the setbacks in all dimensions, all directions?
So what I can answer to that currently is not every answer for you on that, which I know you probably like. We have started to look at, first thing that happened is that these guys came in and said, what can we do on this? And I kind of showed them this plan. I said, well, go see if this home works for you. So they have started to pull together architecturals, which I know as I get to the next level and those types of stuff they're going to be looking for. And we understand this setback here. So what we're looking to do is on the second floor is have a deck that'll actually be in the roof itself up in here so that you would access this deck and be able to look out over that there. Anything else that we do on decks here would have to be inside the building setback that's up in here.
Mm-hmm.
So I would make sure that I'm in the setback. I could see a patio down there or something like that. But yes, everything would be in the setbacks here, and any deck on the second floor would be kind of up there in the roof line.
My concern is people always come back when we're really close to the property line, and they always want to increase their deck size or add more stairs. So I just want to, make sure we're not right on the setback lines all the way around.
And actually, Denise, when they came to my office here at 6 o'clock, I told them, I said, listen, guys, you're probably going to have to reduce your building a little bit. It's got to fit into this here. So, and they both looked at me and said, no, we understand. We're going to make this one work here. This is much better than what we were looking to do on just kind of, they were thinking they could add on to this home here and do something and a duplex or something on here or multifamily, something that I just didn't think fit in the zone and really worked for you guys. So that's why we're here.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Glenn?
Nothing from me.
And Denise, are you all set?
I'm all set, thank you.
Jason? I'm
I'm all set. Thank you, Denise. I'm sorry, Gail. And
That's
thank you,
okay.
Denise, too, just because.
And I'm all set. Do you have anything else to add, Matt?
Nope, I'll take any comments from Butters. I know the Butters probably have some.
Okay, so let's open the hearing to the public, please. And who do we have on the line, Nancy?
Let me just unmute our participants. We have 3 people on the line. The first one I'll go with The last four digits of the phone number are 3778.
Yes, hi.
Hi, can you hear us
Can you hear
okay?
me?
Yes, can you
I
hear
can,
us
yeah.
okay?
Can you identify yourself, please, and if you're in a butter or not?
I'm in a butter, Jeremy Sebastian, 133 Moose Club.
Okay. 132 Moose Club. Okay, what do you have to,
133,
133 Moose Club.
yes.
what is it that you want to discuss?
Well, I think any views that they may obstruct will negatively impact the value of such house or the house that's who loses their view. So some of that's a bit disingenuous. I also have the front of my house. I have 6-foot tall windows. To be able to look out on the view. And once I get a house across the street from me, I have a 6-foot tall fishbowl going into the front of my house, which I'm really not a fan of. On top of added traffic, parking issues, the property now becomes two rental properties is what I believe they're planning to do with these properties, and we're a bunch of homeowners down here, not dealing with several different renters, in and out of the neighborhood.
That's a strange sound. Sounds like someone's, looks like Alan just came online, Gail.
I saw that. Hi, Alan.
Hi, Alan.
Is he unmuted?
No, Alan, you have to unmute yourself.
I wonder if it was his.
Alan, we're hearing a terrible sound coming from. Sounds
Do
like
you have other electronics on in the room, Alan? Is the TV on? You're muted.
sounds like a fire alarm. You want to try unmuting yourself one more time, Alan?
Does that do any good?
Yeah.
That's better.
That was like
All
running
right.
your fingernails down a chalkboard.
Well, that should have stopped by now because I was able to turn my phone off
Oh, good.
because I was listening to it on my phone. I had dialed in.
Okay.
All right.
We got you now, loud and clear.
Okay.
All right, so we can go back to Jeremy Sebastian. You want to finish with what you wanted to discuss?
I think I pretty much covered. I lost my place, but it's just changes more, it creates more challenges. It's I'm gonna have to change the front of my house, which is gonna cost me several $1,000s because I don't want to live in a fishbowl. That's the biggest thing. I don't want people just staring into my house, which is a situation I don't have to have currently right now because my house is just set up for the view.
Okay. Is that it? Does that include everything that you want? Does the board have any questions of Mr. Sebastian or any discussion with him? Len?
No, not from me.
Denise?
Oh, sorry. Not at this time.
Jason?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Alan, did you hear enough of his input?
Yes, I heard the input on my cell phone.
Okay.
I had a couple questions that I noticed on the plan. in that the existing house is situated partially on the abutter's property. Is on his neighbor to the, okay, what, to the east? And secondly, granted, this is an unusual lot, but they could make it better if they more equalize instead of trying to make a 10,000 square foot lot, that they basically equalized it and made two 8,000 square foot lots, and they still would be bigger than the abutters.
Okay.
So the fact they're trying to make one 10,000 square foot lot doesn't make any sense. Doesn't create the hardship like they're looking for a variance for the front yard setback.
I think they might have been trying to keep one lot to be compliant.
Yes, but none of the others in the neighborhood are to begin with.
I understand that.
Okay.
I have a quick
I'm not in
question.
favor of this, period.
Go ahead, Denise.
My question is, if one lot, both lots become non-conforming, every time they want to do something on their property, they need to come back to visit us. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so that's probably what they're thinking of. I would imagine.
Yes. My thoughts as well.
No, they don't, actually. Only if they were to have an infraction on setbacks or some other zoning condition would they need to come back if they wanted to do something.
I could address that if you'd like, Gail.
Yeah, please.
Nancy, I'm not allowed to make a non-conforming lot. I mean, am I? I've been doing this 25 years. I've never asked how
No.
to make a lot. Yeah, so there's your answer. I can't.
Well, it would be another variance.
Has anybody ever gotten a variance to make a lot that is conforming, non-conforming size-wise?
Yes.
For a subdivision, yes.
It may have happened, but the zoning ordinance does say that the purpose is if a lot is non-conforming, you don't make it less non-conforming.
Exactly.
And the intent is to make things more conforming than non-conforming. So to go backwards is a little more difficult and a little more challenging, I would think.
That's how I looked at it. That was all. I like Alan's idea. I mean, I love two 8,000 square foot lots. I mean, yeah, it just didn't seem like there was an avenue for me to do that.
Well, I'm not saying it's not possible, that it's not possible.
I know that with Alan, just so you know, with the way the lots are laid out, it's to add another 2,000 square feet, I would still be looking at a front setback because of that, the setbacks on the other side. But we're here tonight for the 10,000 and that. I hear what you're saying, Alan, I guess, but I didn't think that was an option. I think this was cleaner and go in this direction, but.
I think it is too. I agree with you that it's cleaner. Okay. Jeremy, Sebastian, do you have any other comments that you want to add? Are you still there?
I'm still here. The only other question I guess I have is the houses immediately across from them and everything else, there's no two-story homes, and I think I remember somebody telling me they weren't allowed to make theirs a two-story home because there weren't two-story homes around it. But that's, so, you know, I don't know that for a fact, but. You know,
I've not heard that.
it's
I'm not aware of something like that, but it's not to say that it couldn't be. Okay,
but that's everything.
That's it? Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And who else do we have on the phone, Nancy?
We have a Mr. Roger Therian. Mr.
Hi there.
Therian?
Am I unmuted? Hi, am I unmuted?
Yes. You're now unmuted.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mr.
You're
Therian,
welcome.
could you tell me, well, we know your name now, but could you tell me your address and if you're in a butter?
I am in a butter. I'm actually located, we're actually located to the north side of the subject property. We're located on map 22, lot 1C and lot 10. We're right on the water.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Just a few comments. I'll try to be brief. We've been down at this location for in excess of 50 years. My wife and my family, and it's a great location for what we do. The people in the park are just great folks and great neighbors. The area where this property is located essentially is in a very, well, as commented before, high density, tight location. The property which housed it's depicted here as an existing camp. This is the property that the house that was renovated after the purchase. And this particular house essentially was the main piece of this property with these individual lots. To add another home there, I've heard comments, a lot of comments back and forth about the how can I put it, the setback and blocking views and a second floor and things along that line. And then I think it was, I can't recall if it was you, Gail, or someone else had mentioned that anytime that they want to do something different going forward, they need to come back to the board for approval. I think all the heavy lifting involved in this speaks for itself and says there just isn't enough room here to add another home, and for all these reasons. But again, traffic, egress to the property, and so on. So having said that, that's my take on it. And other than that, maybe somebody has questions for me. I don't know.
Board members, anybody have questions for Mr. Therian? Alan?
I'm all set.
Denise?
All set.
You know,
Jason?
one thing I would just like to add very briefly is that when you take the minimum standard or requirement is 10,000 and the closest they can get is 61 and some change, I think that also speaks to itself of just how far off they are from where they need to be. So that's it.
Thank you. Len?
Nothing from me at this time, Gail.
Jason?
Nothing for me either, Gail.
Okay.
For the abutter. I
Okay.
did have a question for Mr. Madsen.
Uh-huh.
Would it be possible to take a look at those pictures that you showed us again? I just wanted to quickly flip through those because I don't think I have a couple of them.
Matt?
Yes, I was just waiting till we got all the butters and I can go through all the different comments there. Sorry, it's Matt Peterson, not Peter Madsen. He's my 22-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Me so I could be here.
Oh,
Okay.
gotcha. All right.
I've tried to ask him how to
Gail,
change the
I'm
name.
okay to wait for.
Okay, so we'll talk with the next abutter and then you can give us your feedback.
Yep, I've got some slides to
Thank
address
you.
everybody.
Okay, who else do we have on the line, Nancy?
We have Someone with the last four digits of 0610, and you're now unmuted. Would you like to state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, this is Jamie Naylor, and I'm at 131 Moose Club.
Thank you.
Jamie, could you spell your last name? Because I'm not sure I got the sound right.
It's Naylor, N as in Nancy, Ayllor.
Okay, easy enough. Thank you.
Right across the street.
Sorry. Yes,
Okay, what
I'm
do you-
directly across the street. Kind of to reiterate what Jeremy and Roger both said, you know, I purchased this home in 2013, not knowing that there were two parcels there. I knew the prior residents and was friendly with them. You know, naive me didn't think to look into researching that there were two separate parcels. So my understanding when I bought this home was that I did have that nice open view, and you know, I paid the money to have that view. And recently, maybe 2 years, I also spent some money to replace an existing deck, which we came to the town for variance for. And we are on that deck all the time, specifically to enjoy the open view that we have. And it was my understanding that Mr. Peterson mentioned this will be a two-story home he's looking to put in. Can that be confirmed?
Probably he's going to respond to the comments afterwards, so he'll answer that one.
Okay. So I mean, with what Roger said about, and Jeremy about, you know, we don't really have two-story homes down in this area of the neighborhood. I don't think that will improve the quality of it, especially on just over half of the required space to build a home. So along with what Roger said as well, with we have narrow roads down here. We have a lot of pedestrians. We have a lot of people walking dogs, and adding another, not just another house, but another two vehicles in an already small area is just gonna complicate the already tight area. And I understand he's arguing that there are a lot of parcels down here that are less than 10,000, but there's a reason, I'm sure, that it is now a standard to have a minimum of 10,000 square feet. Because if you can build on 61 and change, why can't you build on 4,000? Why can't we put a house on 1,000 square feet? So what's, you know, preventing other buildings to come up if they just need a variance? Like, why do we have a standard? Why does the town have a standard of 10,000 square feet if we're just going to be able to build on half of that? So I'm really concerned about how this house is going to change the dynamic of this area of the neighborhood. Like Roger and Jeremy both said, we have all homeowners. We all get along well. To have potential renter with a second floor, so maybe now you're adding two families. You have an upstairs renter and a downstairs renter, so there's another 4 cars in an already area that's too small. And I just think it's really gonna make this area a lot more congested than it already is. And the other part that hasn't been brought up is I'm an owner of the Beach Association, which is, let me see the parcel number, I believe, lot 1G, map 22, lot 1G is our beach association. And again, there's a lot of foot traffic that goes down there. I enjoy the beach, and to have a home that is directly across the street with residents or renters coming and going, I think is going to ruin the atmosphere and just the aesthetic down here that we've all purchased houses to enjoy. I think that about sums it up.
Okay, thank you. Does the board have any questions? Len?
Only a clarification, and when the questions are answered, as to whether we're talking a single family home here or a duplex.
Okay. Matt?
Would you like me to address this now? All right. So let's start with a couple of the concerns that were raised here. I get where I'm coming in. I mean, we are now in a new day and age. Every single piece of property that's left over anywhere is being looked at, variants are being obtained. Person brought the reference about lot sizing. You probably, I know Nancy, people in the towns and this stuff. Concord's reducing everything down to about 4,000 square foot per units. Manchester's lower lots. Everybody's changing stuff. So size of lot, you know, it's really arbitrary for what they're looking to do. It depends if you're putting septic and a well on it. Obviously, we have sewer and water for these here, so there's no need for a septic system or a well. You know, I take a little offense. I get it. I'm the last person coming in the door. I understand. But, you know, this gentleman right here has got a 2-story building that he built on the water. So obviously he blocked every single person's house when he built his one that was there. So I'm not going to get into, I think we all know this land was available, can be purchased. I get it. It's going to affect people to a certain way. Now, let's back up to across the street. I believe, and the gentleman I hope will get back on the line to confirm, but I believe this is the gentleman who said he had his 6-foot tall windows. Now, if you take a look at the tax map exhibits, his would be this gentleman right here, and his windows would be right along this here. So this is the opening to the water. This is the porta pots. So I guess they're nice to look at certain times of the year. His view is directed there. Now, the next lady who got up, yes, if her porch is up in here and she's looking across that, you know, we are talking 2-story home. I am willing to put on anything with the ZBA and the planning board as we move forward. These are for sale. We're not renting these. So I know the name of the company is that. They're willing to say these are going for sale, not for rental. Again, I'm trying to find something that fits into the area. These lots were available, could be purchased at any point. I know I get this. I'm at a meeting every night this week. I get to hear these arguments and I understand them. They're legit, but somebody else bought the property, and that does change your views after that from there. At this point, you know, my client can put up a 6-foot stockade fence around this whole thing right here if he kept the one unit there, which then would affect this guy's view, potentially not the second floor deck that was over here on 1943. I understand that. But, you know, that's part of land development and ownership. And just like you guys have rights to stuff to come to these meetings and speaks, my clients have rights to come and ask for these certain variances and stuff like that. Now, coming back, somebody made a statement, oh, there's a ton of variance being added. I personally am under the impression we don't need the first variance because we are making a non-conforming lot more conforming. Okay, and that can be argued, but I didn't want to go that route. It seemed cleaner to ask for the variance for that. In my opinion, the only variance I'm asking for is that front setback. And again, almost all the houses along this are at that same area. So understand what everybody's saying. We really want to be a good neighbor in the area. We're not going to do rentals because we understood some of the concerns there. We want to do something that's going to increase the value of your home. Yes, you're selling it for a view. If you did that before you bought it and those guys got you to pay more for the view, yes, there may be something on the view, but then again, you shouldn't pay taxes on the view if you're paying it on it now. So there should be a little bit of a trade-off on those two there. So for sale, back to Alan's statement, I don't think I can make the 12,000 down to 8 and do 2/8. So I think this is what has to be in front of the board. I'm sorry if that doesn't meet what Alan's looking for in this. I get it. I'm trying to balance everything as I'm bringing this forward, but I think that the way we put it is kind of the correct thing. I talked about the too many variances. Again, traffic was brought up from a rental standpoint. We are not renting these. These will be homeowners. The 2-story, and you know, why are the lots the size that they are? And again, I mean, we're going to see this right now. If nobody's noticing, people in Massachusetts are moving up here at a crazy rate. I think the rates went up 16, or the homes went up 16% last year. This is just what we have for land. And if we do it and develop it correctly, they can be infill development that does not adversely affect everybody as it goes in. And I think that's what my clients and we are doing here. And I'll take any more feedback that you have. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the board have any more questions or comments?
It's Alan here.
Yes?
How do you accommodate the fact that the existing house is on the opposite property line? It crosses the property line. It's not all on this parcel. Why the survey submitted?
You are absolutely correct. That existing house is on both properties. But I'm not sure what that affects my variance here tonight. I mean, I can have it researched. I believe there's an easement between the two. I think that's, if you take a look at the plan, Alan, let me just pull it up here for you. The interesting thing,
In front of me.
see this iron pin here? It's interesting how this iron pin was found here and he ran the fence all the way up that line. So I just have to check the deed to see, I mean, there must be an agreement between the two. But again, this is an existing house. I'm not here for that. You know,
Yeah, you are, because you're changing the lot size.
but I'm changing a lot over on this side. I'm not touching that property line, but yes, I am reducing the lot size.
Yes, you are.
But I'm not making that house, Alan, any more non-conforming than it sits today. And that's what the zoning requirements would ask me if I'm doing or not.
Anybody else? Len?
I only think the point of what we're supposed to be here tonight is to rule on the proposal that the applicant has put before us, whether or not it conforms to what one or the other members of the board would like to see as the design is not our purview, really. We're just being asked to make a decision on the applicant's proposal, and I think we should limit ourselves to that rather than telling him how to design the project.
Yeah, no, well, that is, our job is just what's before us, not to design the project for them. I agree with that. Denise, do you have any comments, questions?
My comments, there are several properties that are kind of infringing on other people's properties, just the way things were done many years ago. As far as the variances go, that's why we have a ZBA, because there are instances that people have a piece of property, and if they can meet the criteria is why we give variances, just trying to answer a question that one of the abutters had. I get that house is on the other lot, but I don't think that has anything to do with why we're here this evening.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
If I could also offer, I mean, I think half of the problem that we end up dealing with houses in this part of town is that a great number of these pre-existed the town zoning code. They were developed under much different circumstances. It certainly looks to me, from what I've seen with the proposal, the attempt to subdivide, make a conforming lot, and reduce nonconformity all seem to me to be good faith efforts to minimize the impact of the development.
Yeah. I had a thought that there were concerns about the size of that one new lot that they're looking for the variances for, and there's a lot that's right across from that intersection, lot 18-54, that looks to be very similar in size, if not maybe a little smaller. And I'm just curious if anybody knows what's on that. Matt?
Doesn't look like anything.
I'm gonna have to look at the aerial photo here.
Doesn't
It
show anything.
Looks like it's
Yeah, I
vacant,
think
Gail.
that one might be vacant,
it?
right?
Okay, I was just curious.
Right on the water. Right there.
Yeah, that area. That's who missed, that was not necessarily there, this area. Are you talking 22?
It's map 18, lot 54. based on the tax maps, it's vacant.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, do we have any other questions or comments? Are we ready to close the public hearing?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Nothing
May
Matt,
I just say one thing?
who's this? Who's asking to say one thing?
Yeah, this is Roger Therian again.
Okay,
Again,
go ahead.
I just want to go back to the aspect of conforming, non-conforming. By moving, there's still, if based on my minimum calculation, there's still 4,900 off of conforming to the 10,000. I don't think we should lose sight of that. Okay, it's not like they're they're bringing it up to 9,000 and they're 1,000 away. They're still 4,900 away from conforming. So I didn't want to lose sight of that. Just wanted to put that out there. Sorry to interrupt you.
Thank you.
Just for the board, it's 3,900, not 49.
Thank you. Okay, any more comments before I close the public hearing? Okay, public hearing is closed and the board's going to enter deliberations. Do we have any discussion, board, or a motion?
I would just like to make a comment that they could come back and try to build a very small building on the lot the way it is. And they could claim a hardship. It's a piece of property that somebody owns. I don't have an issue with going for the first variance. I would assume we're doing one variance at a time?
Yes,
For approving?
yes. So you don't have an issue with the lot line adjustment? Is that the one you're
Not at
talking
all.
about?
No,
Okay.
yeah, that's correct.
Okay, that's the one we'll address first.
And I would certainly say that there would be that there's certainly a hardship for building on that. So
That, I do agree with that.
I would add, I think that it just seems to be a reasonable attempt to make use of the property as it stands.
Mhm. I'm ready to make a motion if nobody else has comments.
Okay,
I motion to grant the variance to permit a lot line adjustment between two lots. Lot 19-34, which is currently 4,100 square feet, it's going to become 6,121 square feet.
okay, okay. And do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have the motion to grant the variance and a second. Is there any discussion on that motion? Are we finding that it meets all the variance criteria as the applicant presented?
I would say yes, and it's only improving the situation that's there now.
Okay,
And likewise, yes, it's reducing nonconformity and not creating a second nonconforming lots. So I think it meets the spirit of what we're trying to do.
okay. And I would agree that hardship is certainly there.
Can somebody explain to me what the hardship with the land is?
well, I would
The
say on a. Oh, go ahead, Denise.
No, go ahead, Jason. Sorry.
I was going to yield to the voice of experience on this one.
Denise?
It's a lot in an area that has other small lots. It's they could come in for a variance the way it is, and they're just trying to make it a larger lot, may not be compliant, but it's getting better. And it's definitely fits into the area. And the hardship is it's a lot. And they, and owners have the right to build something on a lot if it fits into the environment that it's in. And I see that it does.
Okay.
Gail,
Uh-huh.
this 6,100 square foot lot is the smallest one in the neighborhood. Still becomes the smallest one in the neighborhood.
I don't believe that's correct.
Could we look at 21-116?
Okay. That one's 0.05 acres.
Which one?
What's 50 by 166? We got all three of these right here. 50 by
21.
5,000.
So just, if you want me to share the screen, I can show you the lots that are 5,000 square feet here. I mean, it's not the case, Alan. Here's an exhibit.
The public hearing is closed.
Okay, fair enough.
Well,
Hey,
I
Nancy, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Gil.
go ahead, Jason.
Nancy, is there oh, here, actually, never mind. I found what I was looking for.
Okay.
No, I take that back. I did not find what I was looking for. Is there an exhibit or some kind of display that shows the lot size of all those other lots in that area? Because I don't know if I have access to that. And if not, I
Yes.
believe I saw one, so I would like to see it from Mr. Matt if he still had that available.
That should have been in everyone's packet. It shows up as exhibit number 3 in part of the title and exhibit number 4. There are two, each one is a GIS map. You see 2 GIS maps in your packet, Jason?
Yeah, I see those. I just don't
Yeah,
see
they don't
listing
do the
size of
math
the
for
lot.
they don't do the math for us, Jason, but there are some lots that are over on Shore Drive.
Yeah, I was
Lots,
gonna say a lot of the lots on Shore Drive seem small.
those are 5,600 square feet. There's 3 of them together that have 50 foot of frontage, and they're 5,600
Oh
square
yeah,
feet,
okay.
50 by
Yeah,
112 roughly.
30. Okay.
112
Yeah, I see
is the
those.
biggest one. The other one's 105, so it's actually less than that. So
Oh,
there's
right.
3 there.
Gotcha.
There's lot, um,
Well, 1854, I think, right? That one's there.
1854. Yes, but they said that one
That's a
wasn't built
vacant
upon.
lot.
That's a vacant
Yeah.
lot. But it
Right.
doesn't really matter because is it going to
Right.
stay a vacant lot? Somebody owns it and they may want to build
Right.
on it.
Right. Right.
So there are other lots this size.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And like I think everyone else had said, I mean, 6,100 square feet is better than 4,100 square feet, and it's not breaking the other. It's not making the other one No, I'm sorry. It's not making the other one non-conforming. So
Right.
okay.
Okay, so do we have other comments, other discussion? All right,
And then, well, I was just gonna say that a single family home is a reasonable use on that lot if it, if it's going to be used for that purpose. So
I agree. Okay, let's see, we have the motion, we have the second. Are we ready for a vote?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, with no other comment, we'll go ahead to a roll call vote. I vote yes. Glenn,
yes,
Denise,
Yes.
Alan,
No,
and Jason.
yes,
All right, so we have a vote of 4-1 in favor, so they have the variance for the lot line adjustment to make between the two lots. The second variance is to allow for the construction of a single-family home on the vacant lot 20 feet from the front yard setback along Moose Club Park Road, where 25 feet setback is required. Do we have any discussion on that one?
um, Gail,
Yeah.
haven't we had a couple variance requests in the neighborhood before? Across the street?
I remember some down there, but I don't remember where they were.
Yeah, right across the street. And we granted a front yard setback
Okay.
for something down there, just as a comment.
Okay.
I believe it's for a deck.
It was for a deck?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Gail, it's Denise. Can I speak?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just pulling up ZBA exhibit plan number 2, and I'm just looking at what the setbacks are around the house. Because it's inevitable, they're gonna come back, they're gonna want a deck, want it larger. And I do see room, which would be the back, that would be facing the lake. I just trying to eliminate people keep coming back when we're so close to setbacks. But it does clearly show an area that there would be room. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I don't see an issue.
Okay.
My
Well,
comments.
and if they do come back, there's nothing that says we have to grant it just because they come back and want one.
Correct, but if we can try to prevent it, I'd like to do that. And it looks like there's room, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Mm.
Okay.
and also per the applicant's representative, they did say that the deck would be within the roof line of the proposed building and remain within the outlines of the building setback envelope. So
Mm-hmm.
whether that can be made a condition.
I don't think
be.
it needs to be, because it would still, they could go further away from the roof line and still meet setback. So I want future owners to have that option without having to come back to the ZBA. I'm not saying they're not going to, but they have an option.
Okay.
so
I get you.
I think my question on this one would go to hardship. Why wouldn't they be able to just reduce the size of the structure by 5 feet? That eliminates that problem, and it creates a home that's still reasonable in that area for that size.
5 feet for the,
And if we didn't grant the setback, then they would have to reduce the size of the structure by 5 feet, and then they would be. So
how much of
given the
how
fact
much of a building space would that leave them? Would it allow for a sufficient
well,
size
they're
home?
they're
'Cause
proposing
It's
a
always
1400.
been like,
Say they're proposing a 1,400 square foot house, which
Yeah.
well,
seems
that's
to be
on
kind of
2
big for
floors.
that area.
Right.
So that's, Jason, That's
Yes, sir.
700 square foot per floor.
Right.
Okay, so they're 2 stories, so that's where they get the 1,400 square feet. Your plan says that the footprint of the house is 700 and some odd square feet, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct, 766.
If they
Also, if you're looking at the neighborhood, a lot of the majority of them, of these properties, infringe on the setbacks. I think it meets the neighborhood, and it's only looking for 5 feet.
Yeah, I think taking 5 feet off, as Jason commented, would make the house too small. I mean, I look at my house, which is a normal size house. If I were to take 5 feet off of the frontage of the building itself, so that if it was in that same predicament, it would do some, it would make a hardship. So I personally don't have a problem with it.
Neither do I.
I don't think it would be contrary to the public interest. I think it would be do substantial justice because it's like the application says, it's a new home on an existing vacant lot in an area of town that has this type of use. Wouldn't be, I don't think it would diminish property values in the area, because it would be similar to what everything else is. His hardship, as he said, there are it just blends in with the lots, with the others.
I'd
And
also like to just make a comment about, I think there was 2 of the abutters commented about second floors not being allowed. That's not something that we deal with here. If that is a neighborhood issue, that's going to come up in the building department, not as at the ZBA. It's really not an issue that is ours. And I just wanted to let the public know that.
Right. I've personally never heard of it before. So.
Well, I'm ready to make a motion unless somebody else wants to make a motion.
Well, I'm ready if you are.
Okay. I motion we grant the variance to allow for construction of a single-family home on the vacant lot, 20 feet from the yard setback along Moose Club Road, whereas 25 setback is required per section 4.3, and as shown on the plan here this evening.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Alan seconds the motion. Any further discussion, or are we ready for a vote? Well, hearing no discussion, we will go for a roll call vote. I, Gail, say yes. Len?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
And Jason?
Yes.
So we have a vote of 5-0. All in favor, motion carries. The applicant has their 2 variances.
Thank you for your time tonight. Have a good night, all.
Thanks,
Thank
you too.
And we don't have any other further business. Our next meeting is April, anybody know the date? In April?
April 6th.
April 6th. Our next ZBA meeting will be Tuesday, April 6th. If there's nothing else, then I guess I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Gail?
So moved.
Gail?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. What, Alan?
Gail?
Yeah.
Sam had sent me a text message. She could not get into the meeting.
Okay.
from her home. So we need to work on access, and we need to work on a split screen so that everybody's face is shown equally. Most of my conferences that are there, everybody is a little bit bigger than mine. I'm down in the corner of the picture. You can set the screen up in such a way that everybody is shares it equally on the
My,
screen.
my, my,
So-
my
Much better.
suggestion to anyone having connectivity issues is to contact IT, who can give you some guidance. I did that this week and they suggested something for me that seems to have worked, at least some. I may need to get a new router, but I had issues of fading in and out and blurriness and things like that on my end, which is a result of my connection. It's not a result of Microsoft Teams or anything else. So it could be that we each, if we're having issues, we need to look at our own system. And tonight is also a unique night because of the storms. There have been internet issues throughout the area. So I'll try to reach out to Sam, or maybe Nancy, you can as well, to make sure that she connects with IT before our next meeting, so that she can be sure that she's able to connect.
I will do that. I'll give her a call tomorrow.
Okay.
And just to add, Gail, for Alan, the visibility settings are actually, it's a personal preference. You can actually make those changes on your own client. If you need some help with that, I'm happy to help you out. You can reach out to me after.
Oh, boy.
Nice to have
Okay,
an IT guy
because
on the team.
this is the only meeting that I have where the screen is not shared. Bedford has a shared meeting that comes in shared. So I don't know whether it's a setting that's transmitted or whether it's something on my laptop. I'll figure it out.
I know as far as views of seeing everybody's face, right now I see very few faces and it's intermittent, and that's because of the bandwidth on my own system. Brian Ray from IT just explained that to me tonight. So even though everybody else may see your face, I don't see it because the lack of the bandwidth shuts down the pictures, so that
Okay.
it maintains some of the ability to stay connected.
Well, this is a works in progress.
It is. So we've all got to be patient and just work with it. And IT and GTV even have been great in helping. So we've got another month to try to fix it.
We'll figure it out.
We will. We
Yep.
will.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay,
All
do we
right,
have a
thanks.
motion?
Everybody have a good night.
Hold
No,
on.
no. We need a
I make
motion
the
to
motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
Yeah.
Okay, Jason made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call vote. Gail says yes. Len?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Thank you all. Meeting is adjourned, and I will see you next month. Have a good month.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Good night.
The polls
Everybody.
next Tuesday, Gail.
What's that?